there's always like one dude who's not talking, but he's recording the whole thing. And you're like, okay,
Well,
no judgment there.
We're all mommies like you, so it's a different
That's
thing.
what I heard. This is Mommy Blogger Zone.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm well aware. It's not like I don't go on other people's stuff and say like, what are they doing right? I need some tips. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we're there for.
Yes, well, I feel like it's also like the day and age of like making your own community. So it's a good thing, especially when you have to raise kids, because you cannot do that by yourself.
Could we just start asking you questions?
Yes.
How has motherhood changed you as far as acting and career goes? Has it changed anything?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
I mean, I don't go out as much at all, but more importantly, like for me, it allowed me to. I don't know how much language I can use, but it allowed me to create something that I call the bullshit meter, which is like the things that really are not important. I just got rid of them because I used to take on a lot more than necessary. And when it's you're sort of your own worst enemy in life. You just take on a lot of stuff that is not necessary, and you can really torture yourself for unnecessary reasons. And when you're thinking about another human being that you can see is just far more precious, and you have this instinct to take care of them, you naturally do what's right and do what's important, and they come first. So it just allowed me to like stop saying yes to things that were not good for me or not important, and also the priorities they're much more clear now, which is really nice. But I'm totally scatterbrained. It's so hard to become someone else's manager. Like, I didn't sign up for that. Like, she can come to your house on Saturday, but she's got a birthday party at 3, so she's gonna have to be there. Like, that is exhausting. Exhausting.
Story of our lives.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have never seen any actress pregnant like you and work like you have ever.
Because I never stopped. Because I didn't want
How'd you do
to.
that?
I just didn't want to sit around and be idle. And I also let's be honest. When someone was like, "Hey, do you want to work?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Like, I don't know. I didn't know how to say like, I want to stop. It wasn't a vanity thing, because like you're pregnant. Like, so I'll be pregnant in this.
Yeah.
I kind of always wanted to have babies and always wanted to be pregnant, and I always wanted to be an actress. So don't get me wrong. It's like, as a lady, like, you want to look your skinniest. So it's kind of an oxymoron when you're pregnant. You're like, here I am. But you got to do what you got to do. And my job is in front of a camera, so I didn't really have a choice. The choice I could have made was to refrain from public stuff, but I didn't. I just I like working. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, I'm getting tired of this, because now when I work, I have to wear like 3 girdles.
Well, not for this movie.
Not for this movie. That's why. Yeah.
Loved you in Big Hero 6.
Thank you.
So, did you work with anybody in this movie?
No.
All
Well, the director.
solitary?
Well, the director and the writers. So you're actually not really alone, but you're not with other actors. And depending on the day or who you're working with, sometimes the directors read with you, which is nice. Or sometimes they walked me through this so thoroughly.
Because the pieces we saw last night had, whenever you were in a scene with somebody else, I mean, I know in animation you can be solo, but the timing was such that I could have sworn you two were right next to each other.
That to me is the beauty of the editing and the directing. Like, that to me is the true art of this process.
Right.
That's amazing to me, because no one is in the same room, not one actor.
It's unbelievable. They
Yeah.
do an amazing job.
I don't know many even animated shows that do, other than I think Bob's Burgers, I heard, is one where like everyone's in the same room or something like that.
And
But
they're eating burgers.
oh, let's hope so.
Sorry.
Have your kids seen any parts of the movie?
Well, my daughter came with me when I first went to record, my oldest daughter. So we saw the storyboards, but no, I haven't seen the movie. So
Are they excited?
yes, we are very excited.
How old are you?
My oldest daughter's 10. I have a 10-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. Yep.
Good luck.
Thank you. You do? I like our club. We're like the rebels. People look at us like we're crazy. They're like, "You're having another baby." I'm like, "Yeah, I am." I like it. I can't stop, but I did stop, but like,
Seriously, we
I
won't
like
say
it.
anything. What's happening?
No, I'm clearly a baby addict. I just worked with a baby recently. I was like, oh, this baby smells so good. Like, I want one.
So you're a baby person.
I'm a baby
Yes,
person.
not everybody. I'm a toddler person. I never want another baby. If I could just go right to toddlers,
Yeah.
I would totally do that.
We could put you out for like a
You
couple
could
of
do the
years.
baby. And then
I'll take the
just
baby.
like we find the people and just
Yeah.
keep moving them along.
I like the baby. I liked nursing. Like, that's like a life experience you'll like. By the way, I know not everybody likes it, but like, I did. It was like this weird, yeah, like this thing that I never knew I'd be able to have. I mean, I assumed, but I didn't know what it would be like. And you're just it's so sad when it's over. And you're the only one that can offer that to your child. It's wild. It's such a wild, like, human experience.
It's funny telling your kids now that you breastfeed,
I
especially
know.
if they're boys. Because my firstborn, I did him for like 3 years, and he was like, "Well, I don't want to know that."
Yeah, feeling bad at 18 months.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
But I'm like, look, you didn't have no ear infection.
Yeah.
No fevers, no craziness. So
Look
you were
at
good,
me.
you
My
know?
brother breastfed me for years, and I'm healthy. No, my mother breastfed me for years. My mother breastfed me until I was like, I mean, there's like folklore about it. People are always like, I remember your mother used to breastfeed you. Like, people tell me that, but I think I was like 4 or something, So I just thought that like my kids would be hanging off me for years, but they were all like, I'm done. And I work too, so I think if you're, I don't take them to sets all the time. I don't think it's a healthy environment for babies to be on sets. Also, like, don't they want to do stuff other than wait for you? It depends. I mean, every day's different. You just like make it up as you go along. But yeah, so that's
I'm
hard.
just jealous because we tried.
You tried to
The
nurse?
hair got in his mouth.
Oh, honey.
Sorry, Mitch.
We
the
did.
next
Listen,
We
you're
did.
not alone.
Someday.
My spouse insists something came out. His mother agrees with him, but the Italians, they back their sons up no matter what.
Oh.
Too much. Sorry.
So,
She's like, so we're getting back to the movie.
So what was the inspiration that you received? What was the inspiration that you received?
Or are we talking about the movie now?
Like, oh,
Did you
no.
All right.
I'm just trying to rescue after the whole hair.
So much more interesting. The inspiration I received. I'm a bit of a hippie anyway, and I made my character kind of like an earthy, but I mean over the top, earthy, kind of crunchy, like a yoga instructor on steroids, but kind of this modern day take on the whole self-help and movement, and how much of a part of our culture it is, which I think is a really positive thing, because I feel like, when I was a kid, we weren't really talking about feelings, or, and then Sesame Street started talking about it, and then our parents were like, oh, I guess you want to talk about it. All right. Like, it's great. It's great for kids to be able to recognize, that they're having feelings that are human, as opposed to feeling ashamed for feeling them, and that they're common and they're normal. So just brought that around.
And the way you say you shaped her personality kind of to be what you wanted her to be, how is that different from when you're doing something like SNL and you're just constantly creating personalities? Like, what's
Very similar. I mean, the only difference is that I didn't write this, but it does start with the voice, so it's very similar, especially because that's the way I write. I write sort of, characters usually come up, and even my impressions are really just characters. They're more like based on the sound of people's voices or mannerisms. They're less, I don't think that I do impressions. So I feel like it's a really similar process. The only difference is like you don't have to put on makeup, which is awesome. And it's actually far more thorough. I mean, you really are working with the script and the director and the writers on what their vision of the character is, and then from there, you're part of the process to find the voice. And I mean, at this point, especially because of so much of my Saturday Night Live work, I'm able to, it's almost like a resume, like people know what I do, so then they can implement, like, oh, we've seen Maya do something like that, and then I'll just start trying things that are probably similar to things I've done until we get there.
Can I keep going?
Yes, I can't,
Okay. All right.
don't stop.
She's
What,
our spokesperson.
I don't want to leave this room.
When did you know that this is what you wanted to do with your life? Like, where along your life path did you say, were you 7 and play in Barbies and say I wanna be an actress? When did that
Yeah.
Is there a date?
August 12th, 1936. I didn't. I always did it in my living room. I always did shows in my living room, and probably performed Annie in my living room about 350 times for my poor parents and my poor dog, because she had to make an entrance, so she was in the closet. But I never really. It took a while to actually recognize, oh, I'm doing something, because it felt like a part of my personality. And it's funny. And then I just really naturally gravitated towards theater in school, and actually in elementary school, and I loved doing plays. And I never really went to drama school. I did it growing up, and I was lucky enough to have an improv class in junior high or in high school, and I started there, and I got to see a Groundling show, which is where I ended up going, sort of like my version of graduate school, when I thought, like, okay, I want to do this professionally. But I used to watch Saturday Night Live and think, like, God, that looks like fun, and I want to get to New York, and I want to be with those people. Like, there was something about it that was so much cooler than anything I'd ever seen. And I don't know how I manifested that. It's crazy, because I'm not type A, and I'm not like super ambitious, like, I'm gonna get there someday. But I was just like, I'm still doing what I did in my living room, and now I get paid, and I can't believe that.
Were your parents encouraging?
Very. And my parents couldn't say you have to be a lawyer because they were musicians, so they weren't allowed to tell me to go to medical school or.
Thank you, everyone. We have to wrap. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Hi
much.
guys.
She wants to stay.
They keep us locked in this room.
You have no idea how boring press junkets are.
Oh, did we win press junket of the day?
Yeah. Round of applause. Round of applause, guys.
Thank you.
You're a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank
Please,
Thank you.
please do this again, wherever, even if I'm promoting a movie that has nothing to do with it.
She wants to team us.
Bye-bye.